All right. So, are we back, everybody?
I don't know. I see on my end in the back end, I see some maybe some stuttering, but let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I dropped the quality a little bit, and if it's too horrible for everyone, then you can just cry and stuff. But yeah, we dropped
All
it.
right, so
All right.
we're seeing some questions, Jason, about transitions, in-camera transitions.
Yes, we had some people asking about that last week, and honestly, I wasn't really sure. Were they asking about the ones that were in their film?
Well, I got somebody asking in-camera transitions, like what to keep in mind while filming. And then somebody saying last week we saw one that went from the side of an aisle behind a pillar, then pop out of the front of the aisle looking up the center. We're still getting buffering, like big time buffering.
I don't know what to tell everybody. The only thing I could think. Let me look at something. You talk, and I'll problem solve.
All right. So I'll talk about the in-camera transitions. Now, I don't do them a whole lot. I wasn't here last week, so I didn't see the film that you're talking about. But from what you guys are describing, my guess is that that was intentional. I mean, in-camera transitions can always kind of just happen. Like you can get into the editor and you can say, oh, well, look, if I line this up and I line this up, you kind of disguise this transition, whatever. But in the times when I've done it, it has been intentional. Now, there's a couple different things you can do. A really easy one is to just whip out of, left, right, down, up, whatever, out of the end of a shot and then into another one. And basically what you do is, because of the rolling shutter and just like things out of focus and things moving so fast, you can just kind of transition those together and it looks essentially seamless. Now, if your lighting is way different, your color is way different, like if you're like, going from a super bright outside shot to a dark inside shot, it's not going to line up as well. For the one that Phil mentioned or kind of described, again, I didn't see it, but that was probably planned. So what you're doing is, let's say you're sliding right into the edge of a pew, and then you're coming out, you're starting in a pew and coming out, and you can kind of line those up together. And one thing that really helps is if you have something close that's dark, or in shadow or whatever like that, like if you can get to like essentially a black point in frame, you can completely disguise that cut. So if, my hand was a pillar, right, that is, I'm focusing out here and it's bright and here it's a little darker and I'm really close to it.
I think I solved it, everybody.
Oh!
So here's what I think was happening. I think that our NAS was uploading a bunch of files. Sorry.
And that is why you should all still get an S.
Yeah, no,
awesome.
It's the best. But it was uploading a bunch of files. And
I literally, actually, the first live stream that I did by myself on Wedding Film School, I was uploading like 2 weddings to Google Drive, and I could not figure out why. Why it wasn't working. All right, we solved it.
Okay, let's get into this. So you could just delete the whole beginning. We'll do that later.
Let me finish my thought, though.
Yeah.
So if you were like going from a pillar, if this was a dark, my light was out here and I was shooting and this was dark or an edge of a pew or whatever, and I intentionally completely cover my frame, I slide right into that and completely cover it, then I can go find something else that's also dark and essentially a black point that covers my frame, and then I can slide out of it. So you can be intentional. That's how you do it. You do have to think through it a little bit. You have to make sure your direction is the same, that the frames line up generally. Now you can darken that, way down in post and kind of make that black point.
Can I show you?
You can.
I want to show you guys something. If you guys want to.
Yeah. I look overexposed, so I'm just going to turn my ISO down.
So we did, if you guys want to see a bunch of in-camera transitions, I'm going to send you guys a link to a film we just did. And so basically, this place had like an art gallery, and I knew I wanted to do some like trippy stuff in post with this art. So we actually did almost all the transitions in this film are in camera at the beginning. So you'll see all this crazy whips. And so we did in-camera transitions plus a little bit of post. And you can kind of see the thing about in-camera transitions is just like, get a good plan. That's what I would say. Yep. Get a good plan.
Yeah, the plan.
It's really what it is. So anyway, welcome to our show tonight. Sorry about the issues at the beginning. We resolved them. And if your film's being reviewed, then you would have gotten an email. So we were reviewing 3 films tonight. We're also going to be doing some live color grading in addition to that, which is going to be fun. It's going to be weird.
It's going to be fun. We talked about it, last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Yep.
Something like that.
So we're doing that. Anyway, I wanted to, before we get started, why don't you tell us about our sponsor, Bobby?
Yes, sponsor. You guys have seen him here before. It's the YOLO Box. Well, YOLO Live. Creators of the YOLO Box. This is an all-in-one live streaming device. If you guys are not offering live streaming, I mean, everybody runs their business the way they want to, and everybody's business is different. I totally get that, but definitely consider it. This thing costs like $900, something like that. It kind of fluctuates around a little bit, so I never know what it's at. This is like an all-in-one live streaming device. You don't have to bring your computer, all these cables, anything like that. You can run multiple cameras into this. You can live stream, touchscreen switch between what you want. You can go to like YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, probably some other stuff. You can do custom links and stuff like that. So lots of awesome benefits in this tiny little package. And you can make the price of this back in one live stream. And live streaming is hot right now.
So hot right now.
Live streaming. Oh, it's so hot right now. I've done more live streaming this year or I guess kind of in the last 12 months.
I'm doing a live stream this week, 2 live streams next week, a live stream the next week.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you charging for live streaming?
Oh, $1,500 to $2,000, depending on what it is.
Yeah. We started $1,000 for one camera, and that's, you have to have hired us for a full wedding.
I'm only doing live streaming for a couple of these weddings. Now I won't go very far, and there's a couple of restrictions. The other thing though is like I'm literally there sometimes for 2 hours to make $2,000. So it's
and the
great.
Product's done when you leave.
It's done when you leave, and it's awesome.
So,
so hey, let's
get them out. We dropped a link.
Let's get into some films. How's that sound? And then we got some other stuff we're gonna do tonight, the fun stuff. But let's get into some films. You want to do that? Bobby?
Let's do it.
Oh, there we go. All right. So why don't let's look at our first film tonight.
Yeah, you want me to fill people in? Are we in order here?
Yeah.
All right. So first film comes along with some apologies. I don't know if we missed their submission originally, but thank you for reaching out to us.
I didn't see it. I went and looked for it. Either. I apologize.
So apologies. But we've got Emotion. Well, let's see. Their website is Emotion Blog. I know they're in here as Emotion Cinematography. So super pumped to be checking out this film. I'm going to just read through a little bit about what they said. They said this couple of great energy. It was a short day, tight time schedule. So I'm imagining that was, due to restrictions, stuff like that. Bride and her bridesmaids were nurses. I don't think early on in a stream we can say anything about, I think you can get demonetized for the big thing that everybody is dealing with right now, but they were dealing with that.
Pandemic problems.
Jason's just going all for it. He doesn't care.
I didn't say the word. I didn't say the C word.
All right. So shot in December 2020. So that's cool. It'll be fun to kind of look back. Didn't do much in the tiny bridal suite. So not a whole lot of prep stuff. This was on GH5S and Panasonic and Canon lenses. So that'll be cool. Drone shots were not available. It's right next to an airport. And we're going to go through it. We got audio on this guy?
Yeah, let's hopefully it. Give me a sec.
We'll get it. We'll get it. But yeah, so this is Steve and Heather. Steve and Heather, do you guys shoot together? Just video? I think you're in here. Let us know.
I'm not sure why my audio's...
I'm already loving that that reception lighting. Also, Steve and Heather, emotion. How long, like, where is this at? Like, you know, you've been shooting for 3 years or 10 years or 1 year. Or this is your first wedding. Yeah, I want to hear a little bit more about that.
Not sure why this is not working today. Everything's not working today is what it seems like.
Live streaming. Guys, live streaming. We should just be using the Yola box, right?
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
That's our problem.
Everything here would just...
We have this big, intense setup and
well,
way too much to worry about.
Somebody took one of my cables in the office and I can't find it anywhere. So
that's why you just work solo.
Yeah, totally better. Everything's better when you're just...
I like it. I like it. Let's see. All right. I'm going to post in chat here. Oh, Jason is working. Hit me with a question. Oh, I hit questions, but that works. Sorry, guys. Some hiccups in the beginning. We're also missing Jared, right? I mean, it just takes the whole live stream down. Okay, cool. You guys shoot and edit together. How does that work? How do you edit together? That's what I want to know. Dude, Michael, that was like, they didn't give me a heart attack because I'm not in charge of the image, so I can't do anything about it. But yeah, that would have got me good right there. I believed you too. I was like looking, I was like, I don't see it upside down. Also, you guys get to see Jason's empty desk right now. So that's cool. That's cool. So you can just hear me. You can't see me. All right, I like it. Let's see. Do you guys feel like we answered the in-camera transitions question? I forget who.
I'm gonna laugh at your dad jokes, even the bad.
Was
there.
Joshua.
I made it work.
All right, we're testing it out. We might be ready.
We're ready.
I will be by your side.
Great. Did that work? Everybody hear that?
I can't hear anything yet. Cool. All right. 25th wedding, roughly. Oh, interesting. So you guys were training under somebody else who took over their business. That's an interesting transition. I don't know. Maybe it happens more often. I don't know a whole lot of people doing that. Yes. Wait.
Could everyone else hear
Well,
that?
it paused. Yeah, they said they heard it.
Perfect.
It was a little quiet, but yeah, for me.
Super apologize for all the craziness today, guys. It's like we're running a business in the thick of wedding season. Wait.
Yeah.
We are.
Our live stream is just going to get worse and worse.
I thought about that actually the other day. I was like, how are we going to keep a quality live stream? I have all this crazy stuff.
We're too busy.
All right, here we go.
Michael, I'm going to hit your question after this because that's a funny one.
I could go on and on about what an amazing friend Steph is. I feel like the luckiest girl in this room to be able to call you my best friend.
This is like...
Nick has a very unique...
This has like really nice skin tones.
Yeah. I don't love always... Actually, I should just look... I'll look generally up here. I get better image in the YouTube stream. My Zoom link with Jason.
Not the best.
It always blows everything up. But
yeah,
well, I really like the color on this.
It's a little on the desaturated side, but I don't think it's so much that it really bothers me. It's really nice skin tones.
I like the reception lighting.
Yeah,
it's
the pretty.
speech that we saw. That one
Bring
I like
people into his world and really make them his brother. You mean the world to me, and now Stephanie, take care of them.
I always feel weird about these kind of breaks in films. I can't say that's like terrible to do this.
You're talking about like titling and stuff?
Well, especially when you break. I mean, I do it sometimes too, by the way. So I'm not saying no one should do it, but I always, when I look at like a title that just breaks the film, you know?
Yeah, especially two of them.
Yeah, it's that's always a question mark to me. Is like, you know what it is, and I think I don't want to say that this is like, oh, do this, don't do this, but like, it needs to be very intentional.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It needs.
There
to be
are
like,
times, yeah, where it works.
Why
where
are
it's
you
like
giving this a break?
Yeah.
Why are you giving this a break? So, a little bit. Maybe I feel like this is appropriate. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Let's keep watching.
Oh, there we go.
How do you feel about songs that are too epic for what they're putting on the screen?
You know, that's a tough one because so I think this song can work. I honestly think I've used this in edit before. I think
It's
a
a
few
nice
years
song.
ago.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
I think they
But
picked
so
a great
I don't
song.
think it's the song choice that's the issue. I think it's that like that like utilizing those big sweeping ups or downs to play on emotion is, I think, one of the things that we're going to find at the end of this. So I haven't seen this. I know, Jason, you have, but I think that's something that we're going to say. Yeah, like browse through it, where we're going to look at this at the end and say, you know, if we're talking like you clearly, your color is good, your shooting is pretty solid. Obviously, we're not through the edit, so I don't know for sure. But like, I think we're going to have that thought of like, you know, what do you need to do to get to that next level?
Yeah, how do we polish it?
Yeah, and that's going to be one of those things where it's like that big upswing, that should be a dress shot, a drone shot, the couple shot. Like it should transition to something that's not just guests coming in and chatting.
Yeah. I feel like it's a little bit of a letdown when you land on something that's not like.
Well,
epic.
I don't know. It's not a letdown. It's just a missed opportunity to me.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway.
I have no doubt that I have found my perfect partner in you.
You're so pretty, Annette.
I don't love this. Just personally. Like
This shot?
I just don't think it makes her look flattering. And I don't think it's flattering to the bridesmaids, and
Yeah, I think it's like a very unmotivated shot.
it looks like an accident.
I want to know right now. I just want to go to our document here. Okay, so let's see if we have it here. I know we ask you guys like, what did they order, etc. And I know we talk about this like every time. So you said,
And we also always forget to mention it until we decide to bring it up in the edit.
So this says the client purchased a 6 to 8 minute highlight film. Yeah, I mean, so here's, you know, I think we have to acknowledge, right, that this is December. This is like the height of pandemic stuff. Not the height, but it was still, you know, things were shut down. I don't know where you guys are. The wedding was small. The wedding was short. Like they already mentioned that. You know, my gut tells me, and you know, you can tell me emotion in the comments if I'm wrong, but my gut tells me, and this is a scenario that I ran into with a lot of couples, that, you know, they booked you 6 months, 12 months before that when things were fine. Or I guess they weren't fine through all that, but you were booked in advance for a 6 to 8 minute film, and then the day changed. It condensed, it got smaller, less people, maybe a different venue, whatever. And I went back to a lot of my couples and I said, hey, I don't think you or I want a 7 to 8 minute, which is my longer cut, like 6, 8, whatever. Like, I don't want to deliver that for you because I'm just going to be stuffing shots like this into that are kind of unmotivated.
And for me, it's like there's that aspect, but also in general, we always bring it up. Do our best to make the people in the film put them in a flattering light. You know, I mean, maybe she loved this, by the way. Maybe she thought this was the coolest thing ever. And so I don't know everything.
Yeah, we don't know.
But that's just my impression. Moving on.
Your enduring energy, constant happiness, and bubbly personality enrich and brighten my life and the world of everyone around you. Life is just better with you.
Before you see him, you want to say anything?
I love you and I'm so nervous.
Nice reaction.
I normally wouldn't like things being this long, but I'm feeling it kind of. Like the pause, the slow down of the
The
music.
build up.
Obviously,
I promise to love you.
that was tricky right there. And this isn't a problem, but just everybody. So when you have I wonder if this shot could have been maybe brought in just 2 frames later so you wouldn't have any of that.
Or just like planning, like you're just shifting a little bit left.
That's what I mean,
planning
just
for them.
T-shift it
Yeah.
a little or whatever, just so you don't have any of that overexposed, because it's like full nuclear on her face.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think, how do you feel about that lull that they gave us, that breathing, that breath they put in the film?
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with it. You know, I think that is something too, that it's like it's a muscle that you kind of work on, creative muscle that you learn to flex.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I like to do with an edit is go crazy and then really slow and then crazy and then like having pacing and like having your film have breathing to it. And I was into that because the music matched it. Some people wouldn't like a shot hanging that long of him like crying or whatever, but I was kind of into it. I thought it was kind of nice, and I think it definitely felt intentional. So
Yeah, I think it works. I think that's what you want. You want it to feel
I
intense.
promise to
Totally.
love you even when you ignore me on football Sundays. And I promise to laugh at your dad jokes, even the bad ones.
if answering was that peeking out a little for you guys on your in your recorder, because it's not peeking out over here, but it sounds like the bride's audio was kind of a little square.
Possible. I don't know. I don't.
Hand in hand, side by side for the rest of our
That
lives.
was a weird shot. That's nice.
I will be by your side day by day.
His audio sounds
I will
incredible.
never let you face.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
anything
Are you using the mic, the lapel you have on there, or is that the handheld system?
So this is a moment in the edit where I was like, I'm just a stickler with swells. Like when you have a swell in your song, I want you to hit me with something epic when that hit comes.
Utilize it.
Like I almost feel like it should have been like the kiss before the swell and then whoa, walking, like movement hit me. Anyway,
Party, dance floor footage,
something
wedding party,
kissing,
hype
epic,
shots,
sunsets.
bride and groom, your best shots.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Them walking down the aisle on a gimbal that you killed it on, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, like that's not like the best shot in the world, but I would have liked that shot better after the swell.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I don't like that framing. Or honestly, kind of that framing.
yeah, I'm not into it.
They are some dancers, my goodness.
I've had a couple awesome dancers. That looks awesome to me.
I don't love that stuff. I think that would fall in the category again of like stuff that I would cut personally.
talking
and
about
do a
the,
shorter film, the photo booth stuff.
See, I would have just cut all this faster, but I don't know that you could have. I would
Or
have been
that,
like, ba,
yeah.
da, da, da. I'd be on that beat, And
I think if you are cutting a certain speed, jump cuts are fine. That's what I would say.
I mean, they're actually probably appropriate a lot of times.
Yeah, it probably works. But like when it's like essentially the same shot and it's like sitting up, and it's like the same angle, I don't really love that. But
I mean,
I also know why, right?
The challenge here is because I don't know, I think we did like 25 COVID weddings last year, and we were probably a little more intentional than most people in telling couples like, hey, we're not going to get to make the film that we contracted. Let's make a different film. But I will say, still, for me as a filmmaker, not having what I normally have. It's
a different film.
Yeah, you don't know how to make that film. You don't know what they're going to do. This doesn't look like a COVID wedding to me, by the way. But for us up in the Northeast, like, we're shooting weddings where there's no dancing whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we were having to add portrait sessions in, do all this extra stuff because I'm like, I need like at least another like 25 awesome shots to make this film now. So anyway, I don't know. I felt like maybe if you're running out of shots or whatever, maybe there was no dance floor or something like that. But anyway, definitely I want it to be a little more, pick up the pace a little in terms of the cuts and the edit with the song, This Epic. Good song, too. Yeah, it's just kind of like loosey-goosey, cutting whenever. That's an interesting angle there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch you continue to evolve as a couple and finally give Scarlett and Harlow a little bestie. Sooner than later, Nick, please.
Fun little.
Now everyone looks great.
Fun little. Is that a pregnancy jab or a get a pet jab?
Who knows?
Can you imagine saying that to another woman? Like, give me a break.
I've heard some weird speeches.
It's like, ugh. Anyway.
These are glasses to the newlyweds. I love you both beyond words. That's it, Nick.
Again, this is a good use of a lull. I'm not my favorite ending, but I like the editing style. It's a strange way to end the film to me. So anyway, Bobby, so we like to do a couple things here: cinematography, story, editing, and we'll touch on sound. Bobby, why don't you give me your impressions on cinematography there?
I thought the cinema. I don't know where we're kind of putting color grade, right? Because that's kind of how you shot and also how you graded and stuff. I really love the color. I thought your cinematography was pretty good. I think it could have used more. I'm just gonna throw this stuff in that category too, but it could have used more variety of shots.
Honestly, it needs sexier shots.
Yeah.
Like,
and also,
it was very safe.
Yeah, exactly. It's very safe. It's very like medium shots. And like, yeah, there's a close up here, there's a wide shot here, there. But like, I don't know, kind of a lot of the same. And in my opinion, and maybe I'm just wrong here, I feel like there's kind of I almost feel like you didn't really get that much time with the couple, maybe.
Yeah, that seems
like it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of time of shots with the couple, or a whole lot of shots with the couple. So
the gimbal work is weak.
Yeah, that was my first thing I wrote down here on my notepad is the gimbal stuff I don't really like. I think your movements are unmotivated and kind of like unprompted, and a lot of them are quicker than I would like. And just like you're making like that shot we're seeing right there, like you're making so much motion and you don't need that much motion to utilize or take advantage of a gimbal.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I just think if there's something you want to like level up on a little bit because you got the fundamentals down and you can probably make a very good living making wedding films. A lot of people would kill to make this wedding film. So that being said, I'm assuming you want to make a lot more money, charge a lot more money. And I think like leveling up the wedding film or leveling up the gimbal work, if you're going to use it, you don't have to do gimbal, but just figuring out like what is my signature shots.
Yeah.
Right? Like what is the thing that sets us apart? What's the sexy stuff that we put in our film that gives us that sizzle?
Yeah.
And I think it lacks a little sizzle. It's very safe. And you know,
Yeah.
that's all. And cinematography wise, I think you did a lot of things really well. The color is good.
Yeah.
There's no like serious errors. And like even I'm not super into the gimbal work, but it's not terrible. It's not like filled with errors and mistakes. Like
you got to understand when we see a wedding film, like if it's beginner level, we're going to focus on different things than if you're a couple years in, than if you're 10 years in. Like we have to find things that we think you could improve on. And yeah, I don't think the gimbal work is terrible or anything, but I think it can be improved.
So let's talk story. To me, this is like the part of the film there, like, I think you use audio really well. That's my opinion. I think they did audio well. How do you feel? How do you feel about the story, Bobby?
Yeah, I feel like it works. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, when I'm watching on the Zoom link, I miss pieces of the audio pretty frequently. So I think story is a hard one for me to comment on. But from what I hear and see, like you're weaving audio in that works, that is,
for the most part, it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's moving the story forward. So I think the story's, pretty solid.
I have one major critique with the story.
Yeah.
I did not feel super, like it's really missing that signature portrait session. The whole film, because it's like the story you tell with the portrait session is a story of intimacy, romance, sexiness, love. Like it's
where you get to shine creatively, really.
Yeah, it's missing like that sexy, awesome session that you shoot that just kills it. You know, I feel like that would have enhanced the film a lot. And you can't always get that, but I will say that was the one thing I was missing, like that connection with the bride and groom and like that feeling of like taking part in their day.
So I had something written down here that kind of touched on that too. So I wrote down coverage versus creative. And so this is one of the other things I think that if you are going to be leveling up your films, one of the things that you can do, and this goes back even to what we talked about very early on about delivering the film that is the best film, not just necessarily what they want, and working with them to say, hey, your day is like, can I make a 6 to 7 minute film? I can, but that's not going to be the best representation of your day. The best is going to be 3.5 minutes or something like that. And so I think one of the other things that you can do is focus, if you want to, of course, like Jason said, you could run a solid business with this stuff, but less about documenting the day or like transitioning a little bit of your documentation away and into creative control and delivering what is the film that you want to create.
Totally.
And getting away from just like, here is the wedding day that I was, kind of fly on the wall captured. And I'm not saying go in and like fake all this stuff and whatever. I'm not a big fan of that. Some people are, I'm not. But I'm just saying like get a little more control creatively over the film that you are trying to tell.
I agree. I think that's really what I was saying really with the portrait section is like, I've been letting the couple know, hey, in order to make this film awesome, I need X, Y, and Z. So
we don't always get that. It's not always up to you.
Editing wise, I think there's another thing they can really level up on. It's just, there's a lot of missed opportunities, to really.
Music was the big one for me.
Yeah, nailing. Well, to me, it's like the music is compelling certain things that the video isn't delivering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and so that to me was where I was like, I was really hoping for some epic shot, and I never really hit it. One thing that I've done when I have a wedding that's kind of, I don't want to say lame because it's not lame, but like, basic, just normal, is like picking more low key music. Like allowing the wedding to just be what it was and not
like
trying
save that song for like your elopement at Yosemite.
That's my opinion, is like you have some songs that are special songs that need to like, you have dynamic footage, and when you don't have dynamic footage, you don't want a dynamic song. You want a song that's like, and maybe you do 2 songs, right? You do a song at the beginning that's like low key, and then a song that's less dynamic but fun, and you can do a really tight, fast edit, but it's not like always compelling you to do these crazy swells and whatnot. So that's kind of storytelling, editing kind of rolled into one. And that's something I think you can, if you can work on your editing, tighten it up a little bit, like get a little, like even like that little move, like you have your gimbal move here, right? And then at the end of it, so you push in and then you
Pull back out.
Pull out a little bit.
There's always one every week.
That's a little bit sloppy on the editing, and somebody missed it. And just tightening up. I feel like there's just a level of attention to detail that we can do. And so that's my opinion on that film. I think it was a great film. Yeah. I think you're a super good filmmaker. I think people are going to love these films. I think if you can give it a little more of that sexiness or whatever it fits your personality of your films. You know, not to say that they don't make sexy films, but like Pin Weddings, it's not all about that sexy shot with them. It's about other things that they're doing with their story, but you know it's a signature kind of thing. And I think you got to put your stamp on your films a little more, and that's my feeling, Bobby.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. A good film.
Yeah, really good job. Hey, so let's move on to the next film. Let's keep moving.
All right, you get that queued up. I'm grabbing a pen because mine is out of ink.
All right, so we got this film right here. Let's give us some details about the film. All right. So this film is by Caleb Tackett. He says, to start off, this is my first ever wedding film. I rented two. I love that he rented them, by the way. Because it's just like, just rent them and try.
Did I hear first wedding film?
First wedding film, rented and tried. With the,
whoa, yeah, that's awesome.
Ace R7, lenses 24. I mean, he got some good lenses. 85-1.8, had some white balance issues during the ceremony, and I wish I could have used more foreground elements when I was shooting prep. Bride came down with a stomach virus the day before, and her father, also the officiant, caught it the day of and pulled it together to make it through this. That's always my... I've never had... Actually, we're going to show some clip. You know what? I'm gonna play this right now, Bobby. This made me think about a moment in my own history as a wedding filmmaker that I kind of got ready for us tonight. So,
all right.
I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy this, and then I got something actually from our... What did you do last week, Bobby?
I shot a wedding out in California. I brought Jared out there with me. He filmed behind the scenes, so we've got that in the works for you guys. And this wedding was a party.
So this is a wedding we did in there was 500 people at this reception.
Not the one I just shot.
No, this one right here.
What Jay's talking about something else, yeah. That's nuts.
Hey! If I do this, what will you give me? Will you give me your lives? Yeah! Will you give me your souls? Yeah! Will you go to the depth of hell? Yeah! Will we come up on the other side and we will kick their asses?
That's a toast. Oh boy.
Watch it. No more. But she's mad. She's so mad. So speaking of people who are partying, I think we have another clip right here.
Oh, dude.
What was that, Bob?
I just started the camera rolling for that. Yeah, man.
Yep.
That was
I gotta play you guys that one more time because if you blinked, you missed it. This is the wedding Bobby shot last week. That was the bride.
Everybody was totally okay.
Everybody was totally okay. How awesome is that stuff? Like,
dude, that wedding was the best. I loved it.
All right, let's watch a film, huh? If only I could open the films. I can't believe this is his first film. I kind of didn't believe it, but anyway, let's do it. You ready?
Yep.
No, I'm an idiot.
Bethany, here we are on this big day, the day that we've been praying for, the day that...
Well, let's just... the first time I saw this film, I could not figure out what I was looking at there. But I'm just like, it's a cool idea though. And like, I'm wondering if I did the right film or whatever.
The Ring? Wait, what are you talking about?
No, the shoes.
The shoes in the Ring?
Yeah, I couldn't see like the first time I watched it, I thought it was like ribs.
Oh, I've seen that a bunch.
Maybe I just don't look at ring. I mean, I don't look at ring shots that much. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. Good job.
The day
you weren't doing that your first wedding film, though.
The day that for 26 years you've been waiting for. Every single day of your life, from the time that you were born until now, that you're...
I'm going to tell you, just pay attention. Can you hear this, Bobby, very well?
What?
The audio and everything?
Yeah. I think it's when you talk or there's any noise coming through your mic on Zoom, it cuts out the...
There's a compressor on the thing. Anyway, I was going to say, watch how artful... I mean, this is a great looking shot right here, but like... just the editing is like he does a really good job like working with the music, I feel, throughout the whole film. I think you're going to notice that.
Yeah, so far.
Mother and I have prayed for you. We have prayed for this day. We've prayed for this young man to come into your life who's a godly young man, a young man who's going to cherish you, a young man who's going to love the Lord with all of his heart. And I know that prayer has been answered.
Can you answer? I noticed this. Can you answer if you're in the comments, Caleb?
Yeah, I think
if you're in there, is this? Did you do these interviews separately? And if so, why?
So I think what that was. So he was talking about this in what he submitted, which was that that's the bride's father, the officiant, and he was sick the day of. So he said in that doc, he said, I met up with the father of the bride and the groom a few days after the wedding to record those interviews or whatever to help the voiceover content. So I think he basically had the father of the bride give the like ceremony again.
Reading helps. Yep. I should have read.
Yep.
Interesting.
We got almost there. We were like one sentence away.
The very first thing that I thought about.
But I like that you had him like looking around and stuff.
And our family attended together. I had you in my arms.
Weird. Whoa.
And I carried you around.
Oh, look at the greens on this.
Yeah, it's very green.
What happened there?
Neon.
That's
a oversaturation?
No, is this using qualifiers?
Let us know.
Just don't do that. the first wedding film tip: don't do that with greens.
I had you in my arms, and I carried you around, just overwhelmed with just the reality of how blessed we were to have you as our daughter. And now here today, I'm not going to carry you in my arms, but we're going to go arm in arm together up the aisle as an answer to all of our prayers. I'm giving you a way to the answer to our prayers. Being for you, you have been prayed for by this family for 26 years. And you are this gift that God has.
This shot is not the way I would shoot it.
What would you do differently?
I'm looking at it and it's like, I want him to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be cutting the hands off, or I want it to be closer and more isolated.
It's either like intentionally a close shot or take a step back, make it a like solid medium 2 shot.
I want to see, he's too close to that window, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of window
Step
light.
back,
And like, I don't really want to see the window. I want to see the window light.
Change your angle a little.
Yeah, I think so. I think you need to like get closer to the window with your body and ask him to take a couple steps back. Take advantage of the window light without having to see that window and whatnot, and show the hands or whatever, or shoot wide. How do you feel about the fact that this film is basically the dad?
The dad talking.
Like he is the film. And it cuts to him repeatedly. Because I'm wondering, because I feel like the bride might love it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, the bride probably loves it.
She might love it a lot. So
I don't know what else you had to work with, I guess is.
Yep.
Even my daughter, it is an honor to welcome you into our family.
Same issue there. Is like you gotta get the light on their faces. Getting them in good light and then shooting behind them is kind of a waste of good light.
Yeah.
So
you have that nice light spill, nice light fall off and whatever on their face, the side of their face, and then you got light all over the place. The whole thing's lit and you're shooting into the windows a bit.
Yeah, and those are hideous windows, but good light. So
yeah.
Ben, we just want you to know how proud we are of you and the man that God has brought you up to be.
That greens again.
Yeah, please explain to me what's going on with these greens.
He said try to do custom color with HSL in the Metri.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
So yeah, hues and saturations. I don't think that's a natural color.
Yeah, I would say maybe slow down with that one a little bit. But anyway.
Beth, from the first time that we saw you and met
so you're throwing in multiple interviews.
We had a sneaky suspicion that maybe you were the one that God was bringing into Benjamin's life. We prayed for this from the moment that Ben was born, and we just thank God so much that He has brought you into His life, into the life of our family. You're so beautiful on the outside and just so beautiful on the inside. And we couldn't have asked for a more precious daughter-in-law than you.
Okay, I want to say all right. Where are we at in the film here?
I'm going to let you react to this.
Yeah, I mean,
not over.
All right, so how far in the film are we?
Halfway.
Okay, so we are halfway. Have we seen a shot of the bride and groom before that?
I want to say this with all the understanding and love in the world, because you truly are doing an excellent. This is very sophisticated what you're trying to do with this film.
For your first wedding, like nuts.
I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even attempt something this complicated.
Yeah.
What you're trying to
audio?
Do is, this audio, like this style storytelling where you get audio in post and you weave a story around it. So good job there. This is boring. Like,
it's one of those things where it's like, whatever this was, it could be half.
Or maybe it can't because it sold it, but like.
Yeah, but we're halfway. Well, honestly, no, this was a free wedding. This is your opportunity to make the best film for you. Yes, it's for your couple. Yes, you want to give it to them. Yes, you want them to love it, whatever. But this is your opportunity to make the best film for you to market yourself.
Your future couples are not going to want to listen to these people's dads for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like,
and your future couples want to see couples. They don't like, I think we're halfway, whatever. I think that's the first shot we have with the bride and groom. I could be wrong. Correct me in chat if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, we
together.
See one or two.
There's a couple. It's just the pacing, and I'm just listening too much, and I'm like, it doesn't feel authentic either.
And there's like a lot of prep. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. It just, it is what it is. I've had plenty of films I've made like that.
I would say if you, I've kind of seen the rest of the film. If you were to take this exact same thing, cut it into a 4-minute thing, use 1 or 2 lines from the dads, and like half of that getting ready footage, you're going to have a great film that's going to get you another client. So we're going to watch it, but I'm going to tell you in advance, you should re-edit this thing and cut it down to 4 minutes. And then it's going to be awesome. But anyway, now let's get to the actual wedding. Sound good? Here we go.
Let's do it. That's a sweet venue.
Really cool.
So you live in the dream. You should see it through someone else's side. Another cipher to break.
Don't love that zoom.
This is tricky because you got natural light coming behind. Why do people ever light things like this? like
venues or whatever.
Oh, it's hideous.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough, man. I would say like I'd rather have a blue background and correct skin tones than orange.
Yeah, always go for your skin tones. And honestly, I would just punch that shot in or something.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, it's not framed correctly. Yeah. So my question is, did you stand in? Did you check where the groom was going to stand? Did he just stand somewhere you weren't expecting? All this stuff can happen. Did you have time to recompose? All that stuff. Like, weddings are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're shooting solo, you might not. You're
might
back
not.
on a gimbal or whatever, you know?
You might not. So it can be tricky.
I've been there.
Jaden, Jared's going to drop you a link for wedding films, but we just submit your film on our website.
Grass grows underneath my feet.
A lot of yellow.
Hello, 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 yeah. Now I'm running out of soul.
Okay. So those are one of those seems like a sweet moment. I wouldn't have put it in the film. Because you can't really hear. I know that he said, I love you, and he whispered it. So I know that. Like he said, oh, I love you. But you can't really hear it. And then I'm sure they thought it
Can we soundbite Jason whispering I love you, and then we can just like play it over and over during films? Anybody else want that?
I love you. Here it is. Here it is. Let's listen to. If you have to cut your music this much, you probably shouldn't include the soundbite. And then I'm sure the dad thought it was cute that he's just grabbing on her arm, but it looks super weird. Watch.
And you don't know that, like, yeah.
Here we go. Let go.
She's like, all right, Dad, no.
Before you declare your intentions towards one another.
Wait, did he just grab her and then suddenly appear on stage?
Yeah, so I mean, he walked her down, then I assume walked around them. So I was gonna say I would cut to something
else
in there, because that's a very like jarring transition for the viewer.
It looks like he just transported.
What? Yeah.
All right.
I want you to know that you are cherished and that you have been prayed for.
Man, I wish I could shoot these
and
southern weddings.
If anybody in this congregation doesn't believe in answered prayer, Ben is the answer to our prayer. And I'm glad that Ben is the answer to our prayer. We're blessed.
I'm praying my daughter never gets married.
In the name of God.
In the name of God.
I'll Benjamin. Take you, Bethany.
I like that shot. I would have liked to see his face, but
I would have liked to see it longer.
To have and to hold.
I like that too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
To stay forward.
Oh, yuck, parking lot.
That's a tough one.
I know, it's a bummer, man. Like, you got to get lower or something. Like, so you can't back up, move your feet, get low so you can't see that parking lot. Cool. It's a cool setting, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm assuming you brought him up there, so good job.
Yeah.
For richer, for poor.
For richer, poor.
In sickness and in health.
For sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish.
Right.
To love and to cherish.
Until we are parted by death.
Until we are parted by death.
Can you tell me, did you prompt this? Were you like actually calling out prompts and poses? Because if you did, really good job. I mean, getting people to get into a moment like this is pretty advanced. Maybe you had a photographer who helped you out, which is awesome. Hopefully you learned something, but man, this is really, really, really getting somebody into this place during a portrait session takes some people their whole careers. They never get it. So I like that. Good job.
This is my solemn vow.
This is my solemn vow.
So I would cut something in between those two couple shots, because it's kind of just the same shot.
You have declared your consent vow. before God in this congregation.
Yeah, I think you could use this portrait
May God
stuff.
confirm
One
your-
big tip I like to give people is portrait sessions don't exist in a linear space in your film. You don't need to be like, first they got ready, then they went and got married, then they got the portrait session, then they went and danced.
You can intersperse that stuff wherever.
Yeah, because it's like a
And you
made-up
should,
thing.
honestly.
You should.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the biggest things with most people is they don't spread their portrait work out throughout their film enough.
Yeah.
And so, anyway.
Covenant and fill you both with his grace. Now that Bethany and Benjamin have given themselves to each other by solemn vows, I announce to you that they are husband and wife. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Those who God has joined together, let no one put asunder. Ben, I'm going to kiss your bride.
Don't love that shot.
Yeah, I would maybe have just taken out that whole audio too and just cut to the kiss.
Yeah, that's another thing people do early is they go like, they leave in like, hey, you, kiss your bride. And you really just need, hey, you kiss your bride. Like you can make it sound any way you want.
Cover it with other stuff.
Yeah.
Cut it up.
Yeah, cut it up. All people care about is something that's about to happen. But if these people, I think they might have even an awkward moment. But I was going to say, when you have people, first of all, that dude's really tall. And she's some normal height, you know? I think shooting them a little higher, like, looks better. You can see both their faces. Here, you really can't see. It looks like you're, like, leaning in the front row or something. Or kneeling in the front row, shooting up their noses. I would have liked to see you farther back down the aisle, maybe, you know. And if you don't have like a 7200 or some lens like that, even a wide shot's okay. But I just think like this is not my favorite shot, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean So he said that he was set up for the ceremony and also singing in the ceremony. So like he wasn't able to do stuff. So like
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's craziness.
You're crazy, dude. I love it though. I mean, I think we can all agree this dude's gonna make good money shooting wedding films.
Yeah.
So good job.
Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin Stack.
So we're gonna watch a roaming gimbal here. This is a really long shot, Bobby. Additionally, it doesn't ever tilt. And so I'm tell everyone here, like for me, make this adjustment, but also I see it all the time when people are uncomfortable with their gimbals because they don't keep the subject centered when they're doing like stuff like this.
Hello.
Kind of corrects a little bit. There we go. So watch the way this shot ends, Bobby.
Yeah, just like
Yeah. So I personally probably would have done a couple jump cuts there. And I would have faded before they kind of get here and she like wipes her face. You know, she's kind of like, let me show. This is where my shot would have ended, right?
Yeah.
There. My shot would have been faded out by the time it got there. Because I think it's unflattering. She's wiping her face and she's like right up in the camera and all this stuff. But that being said, great idea. I mean, it's obvious to me he's watched a lot of wedding films to get prepared.
Maybe even a lot of wedding film school live reviews.
Maybe. So there's a lot of shots, which is great. You should do this. You should learn from other people. And so there's a lot of shots in there that are way more advanced than a person who shoots their first wedding film should ever do.
Yeah, I would go out on a limb and maybe say this is the best first wedding we've reviewed.
Yeah, that I can remember.
Yeah,
I certainly wouldn't say that there's anything that really sticks out as better.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Totally.
Really good. So let's just talk about cinematography. I think that we talked a lot about just some of the camera. A lot of this, I think, was camera positioning, right, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's not even cinematography. It's like wedding knowledge more than anything. You know, it's like the wedding experience, knowing where to be, when to be there. And, you know, so it lends itself to cinematography because it's using the right lenses, using the right angles and stuff. But some of that is not so much you and operating your camera as much as it is just knowing weddings.
Yeah, I think you could see the inexperience in terms of weddings, but I feel the experience in terms of being a shooter. I'm curious how you learned to shoot.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Because
definitely seems to have a background or something.
Really good, and you know, I'm just really psyched on it, man. It was good. I mean, I think some of the stuff we brought up is the stuff we brought up, like this shot right here. Like, I don't want to look at that.
Yeah, I don't like that downward shot. And like you're just looking out the windows. It's half the frame.
No, I don't want to see that. I want to see. I know exactly what that would look like if you stepped 3 feet back and you were shooting his hand. It would look awesome. So,
yeah.
So, but stuff like that I think stood out. What about let's talk about the story elements. What are your feelings on those 2 interviews?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I see this interview, right, of the bride's dad as essentially being essentially like a reception toast, right? It's just done the day after and whatever. So I like the use of it. I think it was too much, though. I think we already talked about that.
I'm not sure I would even show him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
or
tough
I would have shot it in such a way that it didn't look like a set. Like I would have shot it to try to make it look more like.
I think what you could do is if you open with something of him talking, or, you know, early on you show him talking at the ceremony, people will just assume that he's talking that then during the ceremony.
Yeah, maybe I would have done that. Either way, I think that's something could be debated, even though I love the idea and I think it's very sophisticated of you to include it. But we could debate the implementation.
Especially if you didn't feel like you had enough audio or something, like super smart idea.
The color, so let's talk editing. It's obviously like you're not super experienced with color grading. And so I would say some of the colors.
Have we got the wedding film school live video, whatever, for you today?
Yeah, I'm going to color grade a little bit, and right after this, we have one of our collaborative Kiwi submits his films pretty often. New filmmaker.
We've done 2 of them.
Yeah, and so last week I was doing some of his films, and I was like, hey, can I just grade this? Because this doesn't make any sense. I'm a Black Magic. And so I'm going to do that right after this. But we'll look at this and say, hey, when you have your colors like this, it's just keep it simple at the beginning. Because all your other stuff looks great.
Yeah. There were a couple shots with the greens that we talked about. I think there were some shots with skin tones that were either varying, like in the same scene, and they looked different, or they were just off, a little too warm, a little too yellow, something like that. But, you know, that's like...
Yeah, and when you get those like terrible lighting scenarios, right, Bobby?
It's tough. It
can be tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, story-wise, I think it's pretty solid. You know, editing, I think, is also very solid. Especially, I mean, like, I'm gonna say that I don't love how it feels in the film. I think it's boring.
But for a first wedding film, like,
well, and from an editing standpoint,
an accomplishment.
Very sophisticated.
Yep. A very like deep understanding.
Yeah, I want to see you punch it up a notch. I want to see what you do with a real party. That's what I'll say. Because in terms of your editing skills, I don't really know, and because this was such a low key wedding, I think you edited it appropriately though.
Yeah.
For what it was for low key, so I think great job. Work on some of the stuff we said. Keep going. I'm gonna try to do this, guys. Be patient with me here, because.
I can do a sponsored read.
Yeah.
While we get this set up, I got a couple things to go over.
Yep.
So Jason will get this. We're gonna do a live color grading for you again from a user submitted pieces of his film, a few shots of his film. We're gonna just do it from I think 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So, but a nice little reminder: today's live stream is brought to you by YOLO Live, and they make the YOLO box. This is an all-in-one live streaming, live switching device. You can run multiple cameras into this, audio sources. You can just click on the angle you want, jump between it, and live stream to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
Twitcher.
A bunch of other places. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. You can also put an SD card in here and record right from it. You can do this off of Ethernet, Wi-Fi, cell like data. You can put a SIM card in here running off of that. So very, very all-in-one tool, nice and small and compact, which is awesome for wedding filmmakers. This is exactly what we need. We don't want to bring a whole setup to a wedding to live stream. And if you aren't live streaming, definitely consider it. Live streaming, Jason was saying he charges $1,500 to $2,000. I'm about $1,000 to $2,000 in there. And this thing, I made this back in one purchase. Now,
and
many
profit.
thanks to them, and profit, yeah. So many thanks to them for sponsoring us. But myself, Jason, Jared, we were all users of the YOLO box prior to that. So we love this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and hit you guys with a link in the comments. If you want to check it out, you can check it out at that link. And now it is also a great time to mention that we have memberships. We've had multiple people in the chat and in the stream asking how they can get their films reviewed. Now, we don't close these reviews to only members. I don't know if anybody, we for sure had one member today. But if you want a bump in the line, you want to be front of the line for getting your films reviewed, that priority goes to our members. Our membership started just $5 for a month. Click the little join button right next to the subscribe button on YouTube. You can see our different tiers. We have a few different options that
it works, Bobby.
The gamut there. All right, sweet. So so check that stuff out. Again, priority does go to our members. So that is one of the benefits of being a member, including that, as well as a private group on Facebook, more direct access. We also do monthly, roughly, like live Q&As with all of our members, just kind of chat and hang out. So always a fun time. We've got a few members in here tonight. I think they like it. I don't know. They're getting good use out of it. So check that out if you want.
Members also, we're going to be doing our Zoom hangout next week,
Yep.
next Tuesday, 3 p.m. If you want to hang out, we're doing some, I'm not sure what the topic should be. We'll talk in the Facebook group about what we want to talk about.
In the
but
private group.
But we'll hang out.
But,
let's do this.
And, Jason's going to do this. And let's see. Oh, while we do this, guys, while we jump into this, we've got a bunch of you here. Go ahead and hit that like button for us. We would really appreciate that. That helps us out a lot.
Okay, so I wanted to do this because I had noticed, I've noticed a lot of people actually who shoot log footage, and honestly, really struggle to get a natural look. And so I figured I might as well just do a quick thing. So here's the deal. When you're new at wedding filmmaking, everybody's like, shoot log, shoot log, shoot log. And basically what log mode is, it's basically a high dynamic range style of shooting, very desaturated. It allows you to fix things in post. And one of the things I see is a lot of times I'm like, why are you shooting log? You're just, especially when your color grade just looks like normal. You're not doing anything with the dynamic range. And so if you're really good and you're experienced, the dynamic range gives you all this flexibility. But when you're not experienced, it actually gives you a hassle. And so I want to show you really quick how to get to a Rec 709 type of look, which is just, what you would shoot if you were shooting like natural profile or like standard profile on most cameras. And you can still have the advantages of shooting log because you're just kind of putting a look on it. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to get it really quick. And we're going to just fix some of these issues. So we have this footage right here. I believe this is a wedding in New Zealand. He's a very new filmmaker shooting on Blackmagic. And the good thing about Blackmagic is the raw settings. So if you shoot Blackmagic, you got down here, you got this little menu here. And I apologize if you can't see it that big. But this menu right here is the raw menu. And he wasn't even using this. I talked to him yesterday, and he didn't know that you can even do this. And I had asked him, like, why is this stuff overexposed? You're shooting Blackmagic. You should be able to change it. Well, you go here, change clip, and now you can change all your settings. I always turn on highlight recovery, because why not? And then I would say I try to have my waveform on. I'm going to turn this music down a smidge, guys. It's too good. I'm just listening to it and enjoying it. And so I'm just going to kind of go through here and just try to get to a nice Rec 709 look. And so the first way I'm going to do it is just by adding on a LUT, a Rec 709 conversion LUT. And so if you don't have one of these, I would encourage you, if you shoot log, to have one. And honestly, I like actually shooting on these on my monitors because Rec 709 is much easier to expose in white balance. So I'm going to put this LUT on. This is the Origami LUT, which is designed for the Blackmagic Cinema log mode. And so immediately we're going to get this contrast. And so I want to show you guys log footage down here in the waveform. It's much more compressed. And so your blacks are down here and kind of your highlights are up here. Look how compressed that is. And then look at the waveform when I add the LUT. It just expands it. So we might decide like, hey, I want even more, but I'm going to warm this up first. So I'm going to go in color temperature and I'm going to say, you know, I don't love where we're at here. I want to give it that much warmer look, maybe even a little more, because I want it to feel summery. She's a very tan girl. We also got the tint here, which is right now pretty red. So I might bring that down a little because I feel like it's skewed a little too red. And so we're looking at it here. And so now we'll look at our color wheels. And like, you're not going to do a ton of color work, but I might do a little bit. I might say like, hey, I want to just bring in my blacks a little bit more. Because you can see here, I'm okay with that actually. I'm okay with where those blacks are sitting. If you wanted to, you could bring those blacks down a little bit. And I would do that in my log actually. Bring those shadows down a little bit if you wanted, but you might not want to. I like actually down a little. I like a little more punch. And I want a little more of my highlights too. And so now we have like a basic Rec 709 basic look. It's not crazy. It's not super affected. And so what you can do is, here's the deal. Most other LUTs that are like an actual look that people are using are designed to go on Rec 709. If they're not, they should be stated. It should say like, hey, for Cine Log, or, you know, a Canon Log, or Blackmagic Film. If not, you kind of got to assume it's designed for Rec 709, which is what like a natural profile for most people. Let's go ahead and add, I love this LUT, Classic 1, Cinecolor. So now we get like a nice, and you're not really seeing it. It doesn't look as nice for you guys as it does for me. But like, I'm pretty happy with that look. The other thing I might do on both of these is I might go down here and just go, you, come on. Sorry, I'm used to editing on like 3 screens, so I oftentimes don't know where everything is. You can actually bring this down. Sorry. If you wanted to. Here we go. Key output. So bring it down a little bit and kind of lessen the effect so it's not as extreme. You know, I tend to bring them around like 70% on my LUT. Okay, so that's one look. And I wouldn't be done with that. I would probably try to make this thing a little warmer. I'm even looking at it still going, maybe we can warm this up a little bit more because it's looking a little blue. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, I would say I actually can't see it through Zoom, so I'm looking in the like delayed YouTube stream, so it is very, very tiny for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very tiny for me too. So let's just look. So that would be kind of the look. I would probably warm it up a little bit. But anyway, okay, so there's another way you could do it, which is right here. Where, how many of you guys have ever used, do you use Film Convert?
I have.
I
have it. I like it a lot. I just kind of have already built my look outside of that.
Yep. So Film Convert.
I do use it for film grain.
Me too. So I use it for film grain. We don't use the color with our films. But that being said, I've seen a lot of people who do. They use it for their grading. And like, I'm kind of talking towards if you're a beginner. This is not, if you're good at color grading, I don't have it on this one. Okay, forget that idea. You should get Film Convert though, and it could work. If you're new to color grading, you shouldn't be doing really complicated stuff. That's what I'll say. So I'm going to look at this one. I put my LUT on it. This is that Rec 709 look. And I want to show you guys something with the raw. Can you see this, Bobby, the highlight recovery? I'm going to show you something up.
Let's see, I think I can full screen it here.
Yeah, up here. Look in the horizon up here. And then watch when I turn off the highlight recovery. So the other thing I'm going to show you, look at the waveform, everybody. When you recover these highlights, look at the information that pops back in. Right over here. So you're going to see this information is going to be gone, blown out, nothing. Highlight recovery. It's going to add this information back in. And it just looks so much better, so I always work with that. He's shooting 100 ISO. I'd warm this up a little because it's mostly in the shadows. So this is a tough shot right here because he is shooting directly the total wrong direction with these people in the shadows. So I want his shirt to be white, not blue. That's tough, man. That's tough. But I kind of just cranked that right there a little bit. But you have like just a basic Rec 709 look in like 5 seconds, Bobby.
Yeah.
Not doing anything crazy, guys. And so I'll show you another look if you put on top of it. This is just using LUTs. By the way, I'm not a big LUT guy. Like, I only use a little bit of a LUT at the end of our films. We mostly go through either just do it by hand. But when you're starting out, LUTs can be, even as you keep going, Bobby, LUTs are really helpful. But especially when you're starting out. Yeah, me too. So we'll put like the Henry Martin's LUT, which is not even designed for this camera.
Let's see what it does.
It's a little too much for me.
Yeah, but you can dial it down. I use I use Henry's LUTs, and I use them not at 100%, and I love what it does.
Yeah, no, they're cool. They're a good look. But I'll just bring this down to like, I'll bring this down to 50%. So we'll check it out.
Let's once we finish the clip, let's do the before and after. You toggle everything on.
Yeah. So this is
really easily.
Yep. So this is before. And then this is after. Add a little Rec 709 for that contrast saturation, and then add a look. So I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm going to do this one totally manually. So say you don't have any LUTs, and you just are doing it by the wheels, and you're dealing with. Here's your goal. Your goal is to get saturation and contrast. It's not that complicated. Don't overthink it. I'm literally just going to go 70 saturation. Go find my contrast. I'm just going to add 0.2 more contrast. Right? So, and I'm going to add you the Rec 709 conversion just so you guys can see how close we can get just by adding those. So this needs to be white balance. So I'll do that first. But turn this off because that looks bad. Okay, so go through. Look at when I recover these highlights, Bobby. See this mountain right here?
Yeah. Nothing then.
And then
something.
It's just so incredible when you the power. Look at the information you're getting back. It's crazy what you can do with these cameras, Bobby. Especially if you know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna on a guess say this is about 8,500 kelvins. Yeah, so it warms it up. Maybe it's a little too much. I'm not sure. So this is just me guessing on adding contrast and saturation here. Needs blacks, I'll tell you that. And this is the Rec 709 LUT. This is them right here. This is me. So I would say I need to add a little more contrast. But like, do you see how easy that is, Bobby?
Yeah.
You're not.
That looks good from what I can see on a tiny screen.
You're not going crazy. Like you're not adding. It's not that hard. You're literally just adding saturation and contrast, and you can get to a much, much better place. This would look
and if
better.
you aren't shooting raw, you don't even necessarily need to do
Well,
that.
that's my.
I mean,
this
you
is
might
this is
need
my.
to add a little bit or something.
This is my whole point, guys. Is like a lot of people are doing things that their film doesn't actually get any better for. Like your film is not better. I'll pick look, I like the Cinecolor ones. It's really nice. So this is just me adding contrast, saturation, and then like a lot right here. That's okay. That's like an okay looking image right there. I think it could be better. I think it could be a lot better. But I guess my thing is this is a lot of these mistakes that are made because people are trying to do too much, right, Bobby?
Yeah.
Not too little. And so I would just say like, and I'll do one more and then we'll keep moving. I'm just going to make this one, I'm going to add our Rex 709 LUT and then I'm going to put a look on it. But you're going to find, I'm not going to color balance it right away because I want to show you guys how a lot of these mistakes people are making are primarily, honestly, white balance and exposure. It's not color. It needs to happen in camera. It's not a thing that's, I mean, I'd put it there already. The image look better. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add a LUT there. This LUT is like kind of orangey and it adds like a nice little, I would say it's a very solid little bit of saturation too. So this doesn't look good though, because it's not white balanced correctly. And so that's where you're going to see the issues. So I'm going to show you like, we'll white balance it really quick. I'm going to give it a little more lift. When you're shooting shadows like this, guys, you got to shoot a little warmer because you don't want this stuff to look the way it does.
Yeah, it's going to come, all your skin's going to be real blue and stuff.
That's a little too warm, right, Bobby?
I'm a little bit behind, so.
So this is, I just added a little bit, I just white balanced it, Bobby.
Nice.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then I'll just add this. Giving a little more depth to your trees. And if I wanted crazy, maybe I had a qualifier. I'm probably going to drop this down to 100 even. Maybe not. Yeah, it's like... anyway, that took me 2 seconds. And I could have done like, in like, a lot of people, it would look better if it was better exposed in post and white balance better in camera. I mean, it's better if you do it in camera. But a lot of people, guys, a lot of people are just making it way too complicated. You know, I could add a little more, lift my whites
and
a little
honestly,
bit.
do your color and then walk away from your computer and come back to it and look at it again. Like, I love doing that because I get like really into it where I'm like, oh, is this too green? Is this too warm? Is this too whatever? And then I just need to step away for a bit, come back and be like, oh, actually that skin tone looks right. Or it does look too green or, you know, whatever.
So this is, I just did a little manual stuff just to get a little more depth in my blacks because the greens in the back are looking kind of milky. So I kind of added this. You can see how my waveform just expands. That means you have more going on. That waveform is even bigger. So the goal is you want like the things to fill up a good amount of the waveform so they're not compressed into the middle. That's going to be loggy. If they're all the way to the top and bottom, they're going to be overexposed and crushed. You want it to be like a full image with lots of color. So anyway, that's a quick little live color grade of a user submitted footage, and hopefully that helps somebody. If you want me to color grade your footage or talk about your footage, we might do some more of this in the future, but we're just trying that out. So hopefully that was fun, guys.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You ready to come? You ready to appear on my screen, Bobby?
I am ready. I am fully clothed.
Oh, good. Nice.
I have a dog in my lap now, though. So
that's good. Bobby, I want to show everybody. This thing is incredible. We're doing a BTS with our This thing, if you want to check this out, this is the Jackery Explorer. What is the model? Explorer 290. We got a little somewhere. There's a link if you want to buy this thing.
Yeah, I got it.
Runs our whole live stream rig for like a couple hours. It can like charge.
Power.
It can charge your drone like 6 times, and it's light. And I'm blown away by this. So we're gonna be using this in our live streaming BTS video that's coming.
You could plug lights into it, right? If you didn't have an outlet.
You can.
Yeah.
You could power.
I needed that at my last wedding. At the BTS that you guys are gonna see, we had to run our light so far away because of the side that I wanted them on and the angle that I wanted the light and stuff like that. And there was no outlets because it's this entirely like outdoor venue. There was one outlet. It was basically across the reception area.
Do you have any weird stuff? Like I always like, this is the stuff that excites me about my rig. It's not my cameras anymore. It's like weird. This thing is like the G Drive shuttle. And I use these little Atomos drives all the time in the office. Do you have anything that you're just like, oh, this is my weird thing that I love?
I love the people use prisms or whatever. So I like, you have the triangle one. I have one of those. Actually, mine's broken. I talked about it in my ring shots video.
Yep.
I love this one actually. So this is a little pineapple, but it's essentially the same as a prism. I talked about this in one of my videos, I think briefly. This was like a wedding favor. This is like what the table assignments were attached to at a wedding.
Oh, cool.
Like 3 years ago. And I love this thing because it's just so tiny. I just keep it in my pocket. All,
so innovative, Bobby. So innovative.
Yeah. So basically just fits the role of a prism for me, but I just like this one a lot better. So I usually have this on me. I forgot it for my California wedding, so that was annoying.
You idiot.
I know.
Anyway.
I remembered most stuff though.
Hopefully you guys are having fun tonight. We're going to do one more film. You ready to do this, Bobby?
Let's do it.
Dude, this film has incredible color.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I'm gonna full screen this one. Keep in mind, before we get into this one, guys, a lot of it's handheld. You're going to be losing some frames because of the stream. It is a little jumpy, and I will talk about it. It doesn't look as bad in real life as it does when it's streamed and then streamed again and all this stuff. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, here's the film. Bobby, who's making this film right here?
This film is done by Patrick Dizon. Something like that. And this is filmed with 2 A7 IIIs, Sigma 24-70, Sony 85 1.8, handheld with a few tripod shots for the ceremony and speeches. And it says I didn't include any speeches. And
I'm kind of into that. When I know someone didn't include speeches, I'm always like, all right, they were confident. They were confident.
5-minute highlight film was purchased. Ceremony and speeches edit and teaser, but we're just looking at the highlight film. So 5 minutes.
Really good color in this film, guys. We wanted to end with something. This is a real treat. Did you drop the link of his
My
website?
mic off?
It shouldn't be off. I can hear you.
Somebody just said it is.
Is my mic on?
Oops.
Let me talk. Hi. I mean, I can hear you. And I have my headphones plugged into the ATEM. So whatever I'm hearing is what they're hearing. So. Talk one more time, Bobby.
Talking. This is Patrick Dizon's wedding film. 5-minute highlight. 2 cameras.
Can you guys hear
2
Bobby?
lenses,
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
couple of tripod shots. He says some echo. I don't know, but they can hear me.
All right, cool. Let's play the film. Oh no, I did that thing I always do. When am I going to learn? I mean, my question is, why do they default to channel 2 on this stupid...
Classic channel 2.
Is it though? So good looking.
We were quite young. I'd been at a 21st with my friends, and he was at a club with his friend who was DJing, and me and my friends ended up in the same club, and spotted him on the dance floor. He had some good old man dance moves, dancing by himself, and I just thought he looked smoking doing his dance, and went over and joined him, and we pretty much hit it off from there. I think we saw each other pretty much every weekend after that until now. Andrew, I'm so
The one thing I noticed about this film is he keeps showing the person talking and cutting like right away. Like Andrew. So I would say let it linger a little bit. That's one thing I noticed a couple times. But I mean, how nice looking is this though?
Yeah, I love this color. It's real well done.
Yeah, I mean, I even like most of the handheld shooting. There's a few spots where I'm thinking it's a little too handheld.
Yeah, I think like if it's like a look that you embrace, it can work.
I like most of it. I think it's really. I mean,
there's like a couple shots where I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say you're kind of trying to gimbal shot there, and you're not on a gimbal. But like for the most part,
the portrait session looks awesome. I feel like handheld stuff comes alive when you're in the middle of like a crowd or you're.
Well, it feels like raw.
Yeah, when you're with a bunch of people or when you're in a very controlled setting. Where it struggles is when you're should be on a tripod
when you're trying to like shoot some details or speeches or
like standing there hand holding the entire ceremony but anyway, I'm into a lot of this stuff. It's really good.
Incredibly lucky to have found you. I knew very soon after meeting you that you were special. Someone with such a big heart, a quiet, grounded soul, someone who could bring love.
I want to just show these. This to me would get stabilization.
Yeah,
a good amount.
I really like the shot and the idea behind it.
Someone with such a big heart.
If you're shooting on Resolve, you could make that thing look like it was on a tripod, and no one would ever know the difference. That's what I would do with it, Bobby. I would just lock it down.
Yeah.
But I mean, the light's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty cool idea, on both of them. But yeah, I don't love the little warble. It just takes me out of it a little.
A quiet, grounded soul. Someone who could bring love and calm into my life. Someone who can let me go but rein me in when I need it. I have no doubt it will be a wild ride with mostly good days, a few bad days, highs and lows, but I am certain that we will always work things out as the solid team we are. So to my best friend, I promise that I will continue to make you dance around down
That's awesome.
Queen songs on repeat. I promise to be understanding when you watch State of Origin at an unreasonably.
That's maybe a little too much movement for me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like
it's like multiple shots where you're kind of reframing almost, but.
Well, I feel like a little stabilization would have helped that too.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're doing Premiere. I personally don't edit in Premiere, so I can't really speak towards the stabilization. I know in Resolve it would have softened that hand. It would have made it feel better. But I can't speak towards that.
But even like how it like that shot standalone strikes me as like, I wish it was a little whatever. But like in the edit, it kind of still works.
It's totally okay.
Like, I'll just tell you right now, coming from me, that's like
epic,
big. Like I hate unstable, shaky footage. Hate it.
Well, it's wide. Here's the thing:
if
you're shooting handheld and you're this wide, it's much more forgiving.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, these people are beautiful. This setting is beautiful. Her dress is or not, whatever that is. The vest she's wearing over. That's probably not the right wedding word.
We don't know.
You're probably not allowed to call it a vest. That is
the dress thing.
The dress thing. It's awesome. Oh, it's so awesome.
When you watch State of Origin at an unreasonable
and the wind.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wind taking that thing.
I promise to always invade your personal space.
I'm into that too, that handheld stuff.
Yeah, it just feels so like raw and yeah, I love it.
And to try and let you win a bananagram sometimes.
Emotion, raw emotion.
I see forever when I see your face. You're my favorite person, my whole world, and you fill me with so much joy, with all the little things you do. I love you.
Oh, these vows are awesome.
Yeah. I A really good edit too so far. Like,
this is again like when you have a day that isn't boom,
yeah,
like
it's low key.
Sophisticated like editing is all about like making your music match your film, and like when people start out, there's like those tropes, those wedding film tropes where like the film it's just like it's a wedding film song, and it's like what every wedding looks like for like a year. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool trend. And I'm totally fine with all that. But sometimes you're like, that film didn't match. It didn't work. It didn't work for this. This film, it works for this low-key song. It really does. And the vows are really sentimental and beautiful, and it's cool. The only thing I was going to say, I don't love the hard cut on the ambient audio.
Mm.
And I don't really know if... Sometimes it's tough because you don't want that same person making a different sound in two different frames, but it's like I probably would have like faded that out and shown another shot of one of their friends laughing or something, but it's just the hard cut is a little, I don't love that. Yeah, that's great. It does slow down a lot here though. I felt like I wanted the film to pick up the pace a little bit.
Elizabeth, I never had imagined that I would find someone like you. So nice and beautiful, kind-hearted.
Ooh, I love that.
You look amazing in your wedding dress today. I guess I was in the right place.
You look
right
amazing in your wedding vest? Is that what he said?
You are my best
I would have agreed with him.
My one true love. Today,
oh
you
man,
me
that's
the luckiest man in the world.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We got isolation here, and this is what I was wanting to see out of that film, the first wedding film that he did. What he did is I'm assuming it's a he. I apologize, whoever the filmmaker. What the filmmaker did is pulled him back away from this window, and you get this isolation, right? It looks like they're in the middle of nothing. It's just awesome. It's subject. It's light. Sweet. Great job.
Yep. That's what we were talking about before. If
yep,
you're
totally.
Together.
That's exactly what I wanted to see.
The best part of 9 years, and sometimes I laugh to myself. And I think I've told you once or twice that we've become one person. And,
yes.
Each and every day.
That was kind of a weird couple edits there.
And always be the best part
edit
of my
points.
day.
Marry my best friend.
Did he just say you are my best friend to himself?
Or I'm marrying my best friend?
Oh.
Nearly there. Oh. Good spin.
This sequence is kind of rough for me.
Yeah, this for me it doesn't fit as well with the rest of
it was all
film.
Jumpy, and then the cuts were like really hard when she's walking down.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it slowing down and like taking this breath and kind of being.
I'm okay with you sitting on these shots a little longer. Like I think that would have fit the edit a little bit more. That's like the only gripe I have so far.
Yeah, I would say too much cutting, a little too crazy. Didn't feel. I mean, if we're gonna slow down, let's just slow down. Let's just be with them here.
Yeah.
Excited?
The sweet moment, though. This better explode.
Hell yeah, you got Mike the First Look emotion.
What'd you say?
Oh, emotion was saying LOL, Mike the First Look. And I was like, yeah, you got to Mike the First Look. You Mike the First Look, right?
Meh.
I do. I think that's some of the best audio you can get sometimes.
Sometimes
if it's the right couple.
I would say
right
it depends on the day. It's not something I'm gonna lose sleep over if it's just this crazy panic day. But
Yeah.
I like to do it sometimes.
I do it. I do it every time. I don't use it in most edits. But
I
when
would
it
say,
works, it works.
I would say definitely I'm not opposed, and it's a good technique.
Yeah.
But then there are times our films just don't always require it. That whole sequence, man. That dun, 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 dun. I was wanting it to go somewhere it didn't go, and I'm not sure what he could have done differently. I feel like the film's dragging here. Like there was no like payoff, so I mean, maybe we'll get it a little bit later. But I was wanting to be like, all right, walk down the aisle.
We have some comments saying this song, it explodes.
Okay, good. Let's do this. Oh, I wanted to go
bang it.
boom, 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 boom. You cut it like that. Like give it that like the energy it's been missing, because you've been like delaying all this gratification, and that's okay. Like if you're building tension, that's good storytelling. Like delaying gratification is good storytelling, but when you hit, I feel like we missed an opportunity to spin. So watch it again.
You did like hit on the you hit the yeah, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, just check it and just imagine all this spinning, but on the cymbal hits. And we're not like hitting any of the edit points, but it looks awesome.
Yeah. I don't like that cut or zoom out or whatever that was.
That zoom would have worked though if we went boom, down, down, and like it just work with the craziness of it. Give it like that raw emotion, like get messy, get nasty. Like that's what this film is needing. That's what your shooting style works for. I would say check out what Henry does with at Brothers Martin's and people like that who really know how to bring that energy. Actually, this does remind me of a little bit of what they do at Bottle Brush, Grace and Andrew do.
Yeah.
Like, actually a lot, especially the film we showed on our from Sweden. Like, how they do those hits.
Yep.
I mean, the footage looks great though, right, Bobby?
Oh, yeah. This is...
Even the way you covered it, it's like not just the grade, it's like your camera moves, the way you decided to cover. Like, it looks awesome. The lighting is awesome.
I like this dance stuff.
It's awesome. I would have probably tried to hit that. Boom. I maybe even slowed it down. Like cutting to 3 different shots maybe felt a little unnecessary to me. Like using some of these shots even during the crescendo would maybe be cool. Wow, what an awesome looking shot. Don't fade it. I want to look at that more. Let's just we'll go back. We'll take our own time to go look at this awesome
We'll just
shot.
replay it over and over.
Look how awesome that is. Look at the color.
Yeah, it looks real nice.
So let's talk about this. This is a polarizing film for me, Bobby. Because there's like elite level color.
Camera, color.
A lot of things that I'm really into, but as a because it's so good, I'm gonna be much harder on the edit.
Yeah, I mean, keep that in mind, guys. That's how it works. Like,
oh yeah,
we're gonna nitpick here.
Well, no, for me, it's not even nitpicking though. I'll always say that because this person's like almost elite.
Elite, yeah.
Like they need to make these improvements a little bit as a storyteller and as an editor because it's gonna hold them out of that like upper echelon. So I don't mind like pushing you a little because I think you have some intangibles that other people will work their whole career to get.
Definitely.
In terms of the look and the camera operating skills and just getting apparently beautiful couples who look like models. So anyway, Bobby, what's your thoughts? We kind of talked about it, but
yeah, I mean, I love this film. Like cinematography, Jason had told me beforehand, he was like, hey, this film's all handheld, and it might look a little more jumpy on the stream, and we wanted to make sure to acknowledge that, which we did before this. But so I hadn't seen this yet, but I love, like, this is not my style at all. Like, I'm usually so hard on like movements, but it works. It's so raw in like the best way.
I wanted him to be raw in the edit. That's
I could see that. Yeah, I think that, like, if I had to pick, your camera work was awesome. Your color grade was phenomenal. I think if I was like, hey, what's one place you could improve more? It's the edit. Not to say this is a bad edit. Like,
it's
this
not
is
a
still
bad
a very, very good edit. But
It's a
there were a
good
couple sequences that I was like, I would have done this like just different. I don't know, like it just didn't fit as well or something like that.
Well, it was missing that I wanted to see more details of the event. So I like that you
that's
had
not always up to people though, to be fair.
Sure, but I still would want to see it.
Yeah.
And I also wanted the film to, in terms of hitting your edit points, and like I wanted it to play nice with the music a little more, because I felt like there were some parts where you kind of like lost the song. It was kind of like, what do I do here? And like it was almost there. It was almost there. I want to play that sequence one more time for you, Bobby, just so you can kind of, now that you've seen
dance right into dance. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is such an incredible opportunity. And I think he had the footage to pull off like a sick edit here.
Yeah. Some faster cuts and really utilizing that.
So I would have held that shot until the cymbals. I would not have made this cut until this, because that dip, that movement of the dip should be wham,
boom,
not bum. So bum 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 bum. Like you could have done like go crazy with that. That's what I wanted to see. Maybe that's not your style either. Like, so maybe I'm imposing my own vision on it. But that, for me, I get excited about this. This film inspires me. So I'm like, I wish I could edit this. Anyway, that's my feeling.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it.
Yes. I mean, what can I say? I love editing. So, anyway, love the story. A lot of great story elements. Editing was good. Like I said, not bad at all. And audio was really solid. Really good. I mean, it's like just a great film. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it inspired you. What do you guys think about it? Oh, how much do you charge for this? They're asking. Let's see.
I don't know if we know.
He gave us a link to pricing.
All right.
So let me go to Patrick's pricing. Your investment.
Keeping in mind, I think this is not U.S. based.
No. Oh man, this dude's good. Australia too, I believe. This is ultimate package, 4,200 Australian dollars. You want to translate that for me, Bobby?
Yeah.
And then the wedding story, 2,800. Highlight film, 2,200. So let's see.
What was it?
4,200 is his top package. It comes with 10 hours of coverage, a 15-minute feature, and a 5-minute highlight film. I mean,
that's $32.65 in U.S. dollars.
Yeah, dude. Move to the States.
I was going to say, move to the States. You can triple that. Easy.
Yeah. No, this is a $5,000 or $6,000 film, probably minimum. I mean, you'd have to be in the right market, and if you can like really kind of enhance.
You bring like the experience and work like you're.
If it's a little tighter on the editing, I think it's gonna be the type of stuff that can compete with a lot of people and actually get you destination work.
Yep.
So. Great job. But yeah, hopefully that embarrasses some of you guys with your pricing and how bad your films are compared to theirs. I mean, that's how I feel about our films. But really, really, really good. So that was fun tonight, Bobby. You have fun?
Yeah, good stream as always. Thanks to everybody for being here. I feel like every week we're getting like more and more people, which I love. Before you guys start dropping out, hit us with a like. Leave that thumbs up for us. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out our membership program. Hit the join button next to subscribe.
It's only
That'll just show you the
$1,000.
options. No, that's our top. That's our secret tier. Don't tell them about that. No, $5 a month. You're not locked into anything. Hit the join button. You're not auto joined or anything like that. That will like show you the different options we have. But it gets you priority in having your stuff reviewed. It also gets you into a private members only Facebook group, more access to us, some monthly Q&As, stuff like that. So really great benefits that really can help you take stuff to the next level. Many thanks one more time to YOLO Live with the YOLO box. You can check them out. I'll post the link one more time. If you are looking to get into live streaming, it is the best option in our opinion.
Yes.
And other than that, we'll be back next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we will. I'm gonna Bobby here next, or we're gonna have Jared here next week. I'm gonna make him come.
We're going on vacation.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
By
I
himself.
quit. Hey guys, you guys are the best. If you haven't joined our
Yes.
Facebook group, go join our Facebook group. If you haven't listened to our podcast, by the way, we have a weekly podcast, weekly show. And, you know, it's something that it's kind of a labor of love for us because we think we want to get people better as not just
That stuff is like the deep stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
There's only so much you can do in a video, whether it's a live video or just the tutorials we put out. Like the wedding film school show, that's where we dive deep. It's like an hour and a half of just, deep, like upper level business stuff and creative stuff. And
yeah, we want you guys to subscribe. Let us, you know, and like we also have an Instagram, which is the Wedding Film School show. So, I mean, we got everything. So just come and hang out with us. That's what we want. And we want to help you guys get better. So
interact. That's what we want to see the most. So,
all right,
we love
guys.
seeing you guys across the platforms. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Should be a good time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.